Hey, good Saturday afternoon, everybody. Blake Matthews here. Hey, what a beautiful afternoon it is, right? Across the city of Houston, boy, I'll tell you, the nice weather has just gone on for days and days and days, and I don't think anybody is complaining after what we've just dealt with as far as hurricanes go. Speaking of hurricanes, my goodness, is it busy out in the Atlantic. Now, we have not one, not two, but now three named systems in the Atlantic, one of which we're going to have to watch very closely. One of which could become our very next major hurricane, Category 3 or higher, out in the open Atlantic, and could threaten the East Coast heading into next week. So I've got the details on that. Let's get you started first off with a look at Hurricane Jose, rather. And I'm going to show you, this is raw model data here, but I'm going to go to my graphics first and show you what the latest is from the National Hurricane Center. So this is Hurricane Jose, as soon as it loads. A little slow. All right, there we go. Wind still holding at right around 80 miles an hour, moving to the north at 6, pressure down to 973 millibars. Remember, there's a direct relationship between pressure and wind. The lower the pressure goes, the higher the wind speeds. And there you can see that hurricane there spinning off the Carolina coast. And the Hurricane Center has this thing moving up generally in the direction of Cape Cod there, but hooking on off towards the right as a trough of low pressure moves in. So I am anticipating the storm will stay offshore, but those areas out here along Nantucket Island will have to watch fairly closely for some rip currents and some squally weather as this thing gets pretty close to there heading into next Tuesday or Wednesday. All right, let's take a look here at Tropical Storm Lee. Tropical Storm Lee, we have winds of 40 miles an hour moving west at 10. You can see that system right there, and I'll tell you, it's not very well organized, and it's not anticipated to do much. In fact, we're calling for complete dissipation here as we get into the Monday, Tuesday time frame. So you can see the cone ends pretty abruptly out in the middle of the open Atlantic. So good news there. Now, there's a little closer look at that cone here, the Leeward Islands here. There's Puerto Rico, Hispaniola. You get the idea. Moving on to more important business here, this is Tropical Storm Maria. This is brand new now, Tropical Storm Maria. Winds at 50 miles an hour, moving west at 20. And folks, that is screaming along there pretty quickly for a tropical system. So it's going to have to slow down if it wants to organize, and it looks like that is going to happen. Look at the cone here. Becoming a Category 3 hurricane by the time we get to Thursday morning. We're talking winds of 115 miles an hour, and then dropping back down to a strong Category 2. But the idea here is that we're going to have a strong hurricane out here north of Hispaniola by the time we get to Thursday afternoon. Now from there, you can see that the models are generally kind of all over the place. We're talking as far west as the eastern Gulf of Mexico to as far east as the central Atlantic, east of Bermuda. So there's a wide window here. So there's not a whole lot of consensus as to where Maria is going to go. Hey, Deborah Smith, how are you? Hey, Crystal Marino. I lived in Florida for 5 years. Beautiful place. Well, hello from Galveston. So the bottom line here is there's the cone. The official forecast takes it up into the southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands as a Category 3 hurricane, maybe strong Category 2, by the time we get to Thursday afternoon with 110 mile an hour winds. Again, there are the spaghetti plots right there. You can see it takes it from the eastern Atlantic or from the central Atlantic all the way out towards Florida. So I will tell you that this represents a shift to the east, away from the U.S., which is good. So this is better than what I saw this morning, but still there's a few stragglers out here that still include the east coast of the United States, and we will have to watch that very, very carefully to see what happens with that. Okay, let's take a look now at the model data. Let me jump to 12Z. Now this is this afternoon's model run, and what we're looking at here is we're looking at Hurricane Jose, okay, Tropical Storm Maria, Tropical Storm Lee, okay? So I'm going to move forward into time. And the one I really want you to watch is this one, okay? Jose is going to go up and out. This one's going to fizzle, but this is the one that we have our eye on. So we're going to move forward here. Now I'm going to stop it, and you can see that pressure, 959, okay? That indicates a very low pressure. That's a hurricane pressure, probably Cat 2 at least, moving into the islands. Now keep in mind this is model data, so we'll have to watch this pretty carefully. But you'll notice back out here to the right, 1009, the pressure is much, much higher with Tropical Storm Lee. This storm is going to be dissipating. Maria will be strengthening, and there's Jose, okay? And this is going to be midnight Tuesday, September the 19th, so this coming Tuesday. Now we move forward into time again. Now, you'll notice that Maria skirts the northern coast of Hispaniola, which is why we may see a little bit of weakening with Maria as it closes in on the Turks and Caicos Islands. Now, if it moves directly over Hispaniola, we may have a much weaker system because there's some big peaks here. Pico Dorate is over 10,000 feet tall on that mountain, so that would certainly be enough to rip the system apart. However, if it stays north of the island, we may see a stronger system than what the model is currently indicating. There goes Jose, and you can see back behind it, Tropical Storm Lee is gone. So the only one we have left really that we have to worry about is going to be Maria. So moving forward into time again, now keep in mind this is the afternoon, today's model run. Moving up, moving up, moving up, and takes Maria into the Outer Banks of North Carolina. You say, oh wow, that's a hit on North Carolina. But if I go back just one model run, we're talking South Carolina. So between this morning's model run and this afternoon's model run, it's up the coast a couple hundred miles. So these models are going to continue to shift around, and keep in mind that this is the GFS model, what I like to call the garbage forecast system, okay? The American model just does not do as good of a job as the European model, and I'll show you that coming up here momentarily. So that's what we're watching. Now look at that. That's new. That little system there in the southern Gulf of Mexico spinning up and then moving into Mexico. So we'll have to watch that. All right, let's jump to the European model here. And we'll back it up. That's Jose, okay? And this is the model right now. So there's Maria, there's Lee. Now you can see, there goes Jose. Look how the European model has Jose very close to Nantucket. Has Maria pushing right into Puerto Rico on Wednesday morning, September 20th. And there's what's left of Tropical Storm Lee. Not much. So the GFS and the Euro are on the same boat as far as Lee dissipating, Jose moving out to sea, and there's Tropical Storm Maria, which at this time will likely be a major Hurricane Maria. Now, look at that. Look how far out to sea the European model takes Maria. And Jose, now this is brand new. I'm looking at this for the first time. The European model has Jose hooking around and absorbing Maria, kind of doing a Fujiwara effect. Okay, that's as far as the model goes. Now, let me show you what this model's morning run showed of the Euro. North Carolina. So it went from North Carolina way out to the east in one model run. So there's no sure bet that this is going to see land, okay? There's no sure bet that this is going to hit the United States. But, you know, we'll have to watch this fairly closely because it could be a fairly potent hurricane by the time it gets to the southern Bahamas, getting into the Turks and Caicos. So that's why we're going to keep an eye on this. The European model now, as of this afternoon, takes it out to sea right there, versus a North Carolina hit this morning, and the GFS takes it from South Carolina into North Carolina. So the computer model runs are all over the place, but we do know that it could be getting close to the East Coast here in about a week. And of course, I'll keep you guys updated. One thing I can tell you is that this is no threat to Texas, so that's certainly some good news. As I showed the folks this morning that watched, anybody interested in cold fronts? Anybody like colder weather? I'm certainly a fan of cold weather. Love it. The summers here are certainly way too long for my taste, but I know that a lot of you guys like it. If you like cold weather, okay, you're looking forward to the next big cold front, let's take a look at the model run together. I'm looking at this for the first time as I prepare the show for this evening. And let's see if we have any cold fronts on the map. This morning we did for the end of September. Let's see what it's showing now. So, camera around one more time. And let me pull up my thermodynamics here and change models. Give me just 1 second to kind of get everything up and running here. All right. Now, essentially what we're looking at here is red is above normal, blue is below normal. Okay, so as we move forward into time, Look at that cold front right there. Right there. Oh, this is the 18Z. Sorry, that model is still coming in. So, looks like that front fizzles out. There's a front right there. Pretty good front, too. This is heading into Monday, September the 25th. There you go. It's a pretty good front for the first day or two of October. Look at all the below normal temperatures here across Texas. So by the time we get into the first part of October, we may be looking at some much cooler weather. But if we go back just one model run, it was a much stronger front, and earlier too. September the 27th is when it was showing that front passing through. So it looks like this afternoon's runs have pushed it back just a little bit, but still the average last 90-degree day here in Houston is right around October the 6th. So if you're tired of the heat, you don't have too much longer to go. I'll continue to keep my eyes peeled for our first front. That's what I look forward to this time of year. Not only that, ooh, it's dark. There we go. Not only that, I also look forward to football season, and of course eating as many wings as I can possibly stomach. So that's the very latest on the tropics and our next cold front. Hopefully maybe by the end of September, the first part of October is when it looks like we're going to cool down a little bit. Until then, it's a late summer pattern here, and I hope everybody has a great afternoon. I'm going to get the show together for 6 o'clock, and I'll see you on TV. Have a great afternoon. Bye.